Okay, so good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing great. Welcome to today's webinar session. So our today's webinar topic is CollabAI in action, from integration to intelligent agent creation. And thank you so much for taking time to join us. So I'll be before that actually let me introduce with our team member. So me myself, I am Mujammil Haq. I'm working as a program manager at SJ Innovation LLC. And here with me, we have Shubham Pednekar. He's our software engineer and AI expert. And also Abu Huraira, he's also our software engineer and AI expert, and who actually built this CollabAI product. So let me give you a quick intro about our SJ Innovation LLC and what we do. So we're a Hanoi-based web development agency, and it's established in 2004, and we have three locations: New York, USA, then Goa, Dhaka, and Sylhet. We have current team size 170 plus. So our core mission is to, continuously work hard toward client success, to have a happy, productive workforce working together with the same vision. And this is a culture-based company, and we strongly believe on these cultures: be humble, do great things together, work to make clients successful, take accountability, embrace challenge, and grow yourself and help each other. So here is the interesting part: community outreach program. Okay, so at SJ Innovation LLC, we are committed to empower communities with the knowledge and skills necessary to thrive in a rapidly evolving technological landscape. Our program aim to bridge the gap between technology and cutting edge technologies, definitely, and its practical application by providing accessible learning opportunities. And we always do the seminar, hackathon, webinar, and live class and courses for our as a part of our community outreach program. If you go through those URLs, then you'll get to know more about our community outreach programs. And let me introduce with our brands that actually our CollabAI is working. Ahad & Co, ICR, sorry, ICR Capital, Queens, The Optimist, KV Services, and there are a lot more companies. They are actually using our CollabAI platform. So now here actually I'll maybe pause for maybe a few seconds so that you can scan this QR code and join our Facebook page, AI Agent for Business. Well, Notice maybe we'll be also sharing the QR code on the chat. Okay, so let us know like what is so what is CollabAI, right? So this is the platform actually we have built, which is open source and self-hosted AI operation platform for SMEs, small and medium-sized businesses. It's a customizable and team-centric platform where you can have access to personalized AI agents tailored to your agency needs. So if you go to this URL, collaborate.software, you'll get to know more about this. But this the good thing is this is completely free. There is a GitHub repository from where actually you can download the code and you can host it into your server, which is completely free. So what are the unique feature does it has? This is basically self-hosted for maximum security. You don't have to worry about the security part. You will have the more control over your data as you'll be hosting into your server. And this is open source under MIT license, so feel free to use this. And the strong unique feature, it has the knowledge base. Then you can create your personalized agents. Then it has granular team access system, and also it has multi-provider chat options. From the single chat, you can use multiple AI provider to have the chat. And there are a lot more features. You'll find it into our website. So which type of company it helps? It helps basically agencies, pharma, tutor, e-commerce, non-profit. So that they can create their personalized agents, do the automation, and a lot more. So Next, I would like to give the floor to our team member Abu Huraira, who will be covering this AI agent part, and next Shubham Pednekar, who will be actually covering this third-party app integration, how actually we can integrate the third-party apps into our CollabAI, and how actually we can build a custom agent. Okay, yeah, thank you. Abu, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Majamal bhai. Okay, let me share my screen. Yes. So hopefully my screen is visible. Okay. So let me explain what is an AI agent. Okay. So AI agents, those are pre-built AI assistant with task-specific programming. It uses AI models and calls tools. So what is the purpose of creating an agent or assistant? So it actually helps us to simplify the task, enhance our productivity, and also it will give us more accurate and some efficient result. And the examples like blog image generator, cold email template, and provident fund FAQ, etc. Okay. So what is our next part? Actually, next part is how we can create an agent or build an agent. And before that, I'd like to share something like how our agent works. Okay. So basically our agents, those actually called the AI models. There are several models like GPT-4, GPT-4o, GPT-4o mini and others with specific instructions. So why we need to pass the instruction? It's actually tune their personality and capabilities, and also agent can access multiple tools in parallel. And these can be both OpenAI hosted tools like code interpreter, file search, and other tools. Those are built or hosted by a function calling. Okay, and from OpenAI, there are predefined three tools. One is code interpreter. So here is the full overview why we need to use code interpreter. So let me explain it in short. Whenever you need to execute something, there might be some related to calculation and deep dive into the other things and retrieve data from XLS and CSV, and you need to fetch the data from CSV format. So it's actually need to run the Python codes uh, and sandboxes execution environment. And also this tool can process files with diverse data and formatting the data. And after that, it will respond with the exact format you want to get the response. Okay. And the another tool is file search. Okay. What it will do, it will allows you to upload your docs, whatever you want, and they will share some supported file list. Okay. And then you can upload your files and you can ask whatever you want, and it will give you that specific question based on your shared doc or the data. And the another thing is function calling. Okay, so what it will do, it will allow you to define a function and you can attach that function with the specific assistant, and whenever you need to execute that function, so automatically intelligently it will decide like which function it needs to call and which function it needs to execute whenever it's needed to generate the most accurate result. Okay, so what is function calling? Actually, it allows models to interact with predefined function that I have previously mentioned. Why? To perform tasks like data retrieval, image generation, and more. So this capability enhances the model's ability to provide specific outputs and actions based on user request. Okay, so don't worry, this part are theoretical things. So I will give you a hands-on demo. So hopefully you guys will be able to relate with this. Okay, and how function calling works and what is the workflow for this. So here I put one image. So what it will do as a user, it will prompt to an application, and this application will pass your prompt or user's prompt to the model, and model it will actually work to generate your response based on the prompt. Okay, then it will check to generate the most accurate result. Is there any function calling attached by user or not? So if there is a function calling attached by user, so it will try to identify the parameters. Okay, and based on the parameters, it will try to make an API call. Okay, and via API call, it will get the response, and also that response will be sent back to the model again. And this model will format those data response those are getting from API itself. Then it will format your data to the human readable language. Then it will get back to you with the proper response. Okay, these are the high level workflow for function calling. And you can see what is the difference between normal calling and the function calling. Okay, in normal calling, what you are doing, you are sending some data, normal data, and also your model, it will generating some response and get back to the data directly. And in function calling, the steps are more, and it will generate the data with more specifically to the point. Okay, and benefits of using function calling. So we need to know like why we will use function calling. So what it will do, it will enhance stability. Why? Like function calling allows agents to interact dynamically with user by executing a specific function. Okay, so based on user queries and leading to more engaging and responsive conversation. So the interaction will be more, and you will get the most efficient data and the task is specific action. Okay, in normal calling, so sometimes your model can hallucinate and maybe it will give some unnecessary data. Those are not related to your queries or question. Okay, but your function calling, if you are using function calling, so your agent will be able to take the action based on the task, and it will give you the accurate result. And also I have mentioned like accuracy will be improved. Like function using function calling, your agent will be able to handle the complex logic and the operations. And the last but not the least, seamless integration. So OpenAI's function calling feature integrates easily with existing and APIs, so allowing agents to leverage external data and services and expanding their functionalities and usefulness. So how will actually integrate? So Shubham will show the real world example and the hands-on practical session. So before that, what I'll do, I'll actually uh, share something using function calling. Okay, so before that, let me visit our website along with you guys. Okay, and I'll not gonna take much time. Just I will give you an overview how uh, our CollabAI works and what are the key functionalities that we have built and how it can help you. Okay, so first thing, uh, the cool thing is this is multi-provider AI chatbot. Okay, so whenever you need and whenever you want to chat with an AI, you can decide your preferable provider like ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloudy, and DeepSeek also. Okay, so and the super admin, he or she can actually specify which model this organization will use. Okay, let's see. The cool thing is recently published by OpenAI, like 4.1, 4.1 mini and 4.1 nano. Those are flagship level model. So we have also integrated those things here. Okay, let's go back to the home page. Then you can simply ask your prompt, put your prompt, and it will generate the response. Okay, and for your best experience, there are some task command predefined. It actually helps you to format your prompt or your queries, and also it will helps you to get the most accurate result. And we have some modules to maintain the organization, like you can create teams, tags, prompt templates, and also you can define which email domain you're gonna give the access, and how you're gonna manage your users. And also you can define the agent types, and you can see the usage report and the organization settings. You can manage the all kind of settings that you need to manage your organization. And also for user, there is the account settings. Okay, so and we have a knowledge base where you can store your uh, files and other things, and it actually allows user to upload their files in a central position. Then they can choose whatever is need. So I will show the things from where you can access this data while we will visit the agent creation page. Okay, and also explore agent page. What it will do, you can publish your agents, and you can see the list, the others published agent. Those are made, those are published actually, uh, created by others user. Okay, and also feature agents you can see from here, and you can make anyone, and also keep it as your favorite to use most frequently. Okay, let's go to the agents page, where what you can do, you can create your agents by clicking here. You will see this kind of model will open, and just put all necessary things and fill up the things, then you will be able to create an agent. Okay, so don't worry, I will give you a proper demo for this. And before that, what is my topic is how we can create an agent using function calling. So before creating an agent, we need to define a function that we have already mentioned in the slide. Okay, so how we can define a function, click here, and under my function, under all function, you will be able to see the other function. Those are created by someone else. Those are public. Okay, and under my function, you will be able to see your functions. Those are created by you. Okay, so after clicking here, you will be able to see this kind of UI. Okay, where what you need to do, you need to mention the title of your function. Okay, so let me share with you. Okay, let me explain what you need to do. So you need to define the function title. So what is the purpose your function will serve? Okay, and the function name. I'm not going to creating the function right now because I have already done this before, just to reduce the webinar time. Okay, and function name and function instruction. Okay, and the description proper, and add parameters. So whenever you need some guidance, like what it field will do, so just simply hover on this need help uh, like icon. So it will give you the proper instruction and guidelines what you need to do. So hopefully after reading these things, you will be able to put the proper things wherever it needs to define. Okay, so let me share what I have created. Okay, this one, get the product data. Okay, let's see how I have defined this function. Okay, I have actually declared the function title. What is the title? Get the product data, and function name, get function product info by ID. Okay, so what is the instruction for this function? Fetch the product information based on the given ID number, and the description is pretty good similar. Okay, and add parameters. Which parameters I have actually added, and created parameters. You can see the list, and only ID is required for this function to be executed. Okay, and what is the full definition of this function? And that is this. Okay, and you can see, if you want, then you can easily validate your function by clicking here. Okay, so I have already done this, and let's create one agent by attaching that uh, function, predefined function. Okay, so I have also done this before. just to save our time. So let's see how I have attached that function. So what is the function? So you can see product information generator. This is the name of my agent. Okay. And what is the instruction that I have provided for these agents? Firstly, actually, I have specified what is the role, okay, of this agent. Like you are a highly specialized agent designed to utilize the function callings. Which function? So just for better understanding for this agent, so I have mentioned the function name here. Okay. And what is the instruction to follow? So understand the functionality, which functionalities need to follow, and what is the parameters name, and accept only input values. Okay. I have also defined what kinds of input this is the valid for this function to run the function. Okay. And execute function, how this function needs to be executed, and if any kind of error occurs, so how this agent will actually manage to handle these errors, and what kind of data it will pass to the users. Okay. And after getting the all of these things, what it will do, it will give you this kind of data. Okay. I have added some few short prompt like examples, like it will helps my agent to generate the most accurate result. And for model optimization, I have defined something that our agent will be able to uh, handle the promises efficiently. Okay, let's go to the next step, like description as it is, like product information generator, and the category is research and analysis. This is my personal agents. And for conversation starter, I have put one things like giving the product details for the ID num 5. Okay, I am using GPT-4o model, and the plugins that is not required for this, and I am not using these tools like code interpreter and file search, as those are not relevant for my task, my specific task. Okay, those I am trying to achieve using this function or using this AI agent. And function list, I have attached only one function that I have already shown. So get the product data. Okay, and I'm not adding any files. And what we have actually discussed, like knowledge base. Okay, so from here you will be able to choose the file, those are available for the organization level, and also those are specifically uploaded by you. Okay, those are not required at the moment, that's why those fields are empty right now. Okay, I have defined this function and other things and created these agents. So let's talk with this agent and we will see how it will respond. Why it's taking so much time? Yeah. So loaded. So the question. So if everything is good, so it should respond properly by fetching the data. Okay. So let me ask for ID number 6. Oh, so finally, we got the response. So how we can validate, like it's actually able to fetch the outsider data or not, real-time data or not. So actually, I am using these APIs. Okay. So in this list, you can see we are fetching data for ID number 6. We got Apple AirPods. Okay. So ID number 6, you can see the data is accurate. So if you are defining the function properly and attaching these things with the agent, so you will be able to fetch the data from third parties, and also you will be able to making any third party API calls. Okay, so that's it from my side. Go back to Mujammal bhai.
Yeah, thank you. Our next agenda is to show you like how actually we can integrate dynamic app, third party apps using our dynamic app functionality. So I would like to give the floor to Shubham.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Mujammal. Thank you. I'll just share my screen. Okay. So yeah, I'll be explaining the feature which we have built, which is dynamic app integration. And thank you, Abu, for explaining function calling so well in depth, because this feature, the dynamic app integration feature, is actually based on function calling. Okay. So at the base, we are using function calling, and based on that, we can integrate some dynamic apps. Okay. So we'll see what we will cover in this section. Okay. So basically, we are going to first see what is this dynamic app feature. Okay. Why it was built, like why we needed this feature. And to understand it better, right, we need to understand different types of authentication method which it supports right now. Okay. So don't worry, when I'll show you the demo, right, it would be more clear and you will be able to relate it. And you don't have to be too technical to understand this feature. Okay, that's completely fine. If you have non-technical background or whatever, it's very easy to understand. Okay. Now also, when I will show a demo, right, the demo will be divided into two parts. Again, this is very important because this dynamic app feature, in order to work properly, we need two user roles. Okay. So when I say two user role, one will be admin and one will be the normal user. Normal user can be anyone, and the admin will be actually the product owner in the organization. Okay. So first we will see the overview. Okay. So what does dynamic app feature? Okay, let's start like why this was built. Okay. So now we know we have this chat models first, then we got something called as assistants, then we got agents. And with the concept of agent, everyone started thinking like we need something specific. Okay. We need AI to do some specific task, and that is why the agents come into the picture. So any normal model, it can do any general task. Okay. But agents, they are built for some specific task. Okay. Okay, well enough. But these agents were not having the real time data, or you can say the data from other apps. Okay, I'll just give one example. Let's say I want to write one email, okay, and I want to send it to some other user. So what I will do, I'll just copy the incoming email from the user. I'll take that data and I'll paste it in the chatbot. Okay. And based on that information, it will generate the reply for that email. Okay. So this is just a basic example, okay, which I have considered. But let's say this is one extra step what we are doing. We are opening the email in our Gmail and we are copying it and then we are pasting it in the chatbot, and then the agent is actually giving us what should be the proper or formal reply for this. Okay. So with the introduction of this dynamic app feature, we have removed that manual work which we were doing. Okay. So what we have done, we thought of giving this agents the direct, you can see the direct connection with the Gmail. And that was possible due to function calling. And how we can interact, as Abu has mentioned, we can simply use the third party services APIs. Okay. So that's the basic concept how this dynamic app feature works. Now, when I say Gmail or any other third party app, right? The addition of these apps into the CollabAI is done by admins. Okay. And which are the APIs which should be given to the user? Let's say reading an email, sending an email, or just getting your Gmail profile information. This is decided by your admin. He will add the APIs. Okay. So that's the only work of admin. He will add the he will add the app, followed by adding the APIs for that service. Okay. That's it. Now, as a user, as a normal user, what is our job? Our job is to just create an agent first, like how Abu has shown, how we can create an agent. And we will have to connect to those apps, the apps which are added by the admin. Let's say our admin has added a Gmail or Google Calendar as an app. So as a normal user, I will go to the CollabAI and I will connect to these services. So once I connect to this service, whatever APIs which are added by the admin to those particular apps, in this case, Gmail or Google Calendar, let's just take an example. Admin has added get profile information from Gmail. Okay, this API is added. So if I connect my account to the Gmail, okay, then I have the access to that API, and that API is get Gmail profile. Now I can attach that API to my AI agent. Okay, so whenever I ask my agent like, hey, can you give me my Gmail information? So that agent will smartly call that API. It will execute the API, it will get the response, and then it will summarize the response to us. Okay, we will see this thing in action. Okay, but before that, let's see what are different type of authentication methods. Okay, because this is actually important, we need to understand this. Okay, because this is like the methods, different three types of methods. And again, this is like most important for the admin side. Okay, so yeah, right now in the dynamic app, we have added three authentication method. So if you are a developer, you must be aware of this. What are these things? But if you are not a developer, that's fine. I'll explain what are these things. Okay. So API key is one of the authentication method. Then basic and OAuth is the most, you can say the standard method which we use in the industry. Okay. So yeah, these are the three different type of authentication methods which we use. So in future, we are planning to integrate more and more methods. But yeah, for this phase, we have just three authentication supported. Okay. Now we'll see the demo, how these things work. Okay. Yeah. So I have logged into CollabAI and you can see I have logged in as an admin. Okay. So now as an admin, let's say, okay, I think, let's say I'll go to my organization settings over here. Okay. And under the settings, I have this apps and integrations. You can see we have added this many apps. Okay. You can see Beanstalk, Calendar, OS, Ticket, whatever. Okay. These are the third-party apps. Okay. Now, let's say as an admin, I want to add one app. Let's say I want my users to talk to some other third-party app. Let's just say HubSpot. Okay. HubSpot. Yeah, HubSpot. Let's just say HubSpot. So when I click on this add app, we get this form. Okay. Yeah, we get this form. So initially, when you look at this form, you might feel, okay, these are too many fields. I won't understand this. Okay. Nothing like that. This is actually simple enough. Okay. So in this form, the first field where we have to concentrate is this, the authentication type. Okay. So by default, we kept this as OAuth because that's the most used authentication method, you can say. But if I change this, to API key, notice the fields have reduced. You can see over here. Also, if I change this to basic, you can see again the fields are this thing changed. Okay. So now let's first see what does this API key method does. Okay. Okay. So let's say I want to add HubSpot. Okay. Now as an admin, you will have to understand, in order to call the HubSpot API, okay, in order to get the data from the HubSpot using API, you will have to go to the HubSpot documentation and you will have to understand which authentication method their API supports. Okay, which for which API they are supporting what type of authentication method. Okay, so let's just consider I am an admin and I have gone to the HubSpot documentation and I read the documentation and found out, like, in order to call the HubSpot API, we need to go with the API key authentication type. All right. Okay. So once I know this, I will change my authentication type to API key. That's it. Now these are some just basic details. I'll just type some dummy data over here. I'll say HubSpot 1. Okay. Now this app slug, this is a unique identifier for each app. Okay. So this has to be unique. And this is something which we use internally for code related purpose. Okay. Now this app description, this description is like you'll have to specify. This is for normal user actually. This has nothing to do with the AI agent. Okay. You'll have to specify like why this app is added in the CollabAI. Okay. So let's say I want to add HubSpot to get leads data. Okay. So this will help the other user who is trying to connect. Okay, I'm trying to connect to the HubSpot, but what will I get after connecting to this HubSpot? So those information needs to be added in this app description. Okay. Then you'll have to choose one icon. I'll quickly select something. Okay, I have HubSpot. This is like a icon for this app, and we have decided this as an API key. Now this Google app parameter was purposely added in order to differentiate between the Google Suite apps and any other apps. Okay, because Google has some other type of you say the authentication, and that was the reason we have added this. But for now, you can just ignore this. Okay, this really doesn't matter in case of HubSpot. Okay, now add headers and header one. Okay, so here, right? Okay, as an admin, I have gone to the documentation and I understood that in order to call the HubSpot API, in the headers, I need to pass something called as API key. Okay, so API key becomes the name, the label, and the actual value of this API key will be added by the end user, the normal user, you can say. Okay, yeah. And if the API needs, let's say if the API needs two header, you can definitely add this thing as well, like let's say content type as well. So we have kept this dynamic, like so that we are not restricted to some specific apps. Let's say tomorrow one service comes and it needs three headers in the this thing headers data. So we can add that as well over here. Okay. So for that dynamic purpose, we have added this add header button over here. Okay. Now I'll show you. So that's it about the API key authentication. Now let's focus on the basic auth. Okay. So now why I'm showing you first API key and then basic, because these are the two authentication type wherein the end users, okay, the normal users, they will have to fill some values when they try to connect the app. Okay, that's why I'm grouping these things. So API key and basic authentication, these are the two methods where a normal user, or you can say the end user, they will have to enter some values when they want to connect to this app. Okay, and where the normal user can find this data, it is actually simple. You have to just go to your account into the respective app. Let's say you want to connect HubSpot. You will have to go into your HubSpot account, and there you can just find your API key or whatever, let's say content type or whatever. You can easily find it, okay? Or you can easily just Google it. You'll get the steps how to find your API key and whatever. It's not that technical, okay? So basic is the other type of authentication. It actually works, you can say similar to API key, wherein in the API key, we are defining the headers, okay, the direct headers which we add. But in the basic authentication method type, right, we need to, there are actually two things. One is authentication fields, okay. So in most of the cases, it is just username, and here it will be a password, or it can be access token. Okay, in most of the cases, okay, it has to be this. And then if this is your authentication, let's say if your API needs something called as some additional headers, you can see, like for example, when you want to call the Notion APIs, right, it needs something called as version. Okay, and it also needs something called as content type. Okay, so you can see this dynamic adding the headers, dynamically adding the authentication fields. In turn, it is helping us. Okay, I'll just quickly give any other name. Let's say okay, I'll just say dummy. Okay, so now these are the two authentication methods wherein the user will need to input data from his side. Okay, I'll simply add this app. Okay, we'll see. Yeah, you can see the HubSpot one, it's added. Okay, now as an admin, now I know my app. I have defined the HubSpot and what are the things it needs in order to connect to the HubSpot. Okay, that's just one part of it. Now, which are the APIs which I want to add? Okay, so you remember I have added this description wherein I said this is the app which will give me the leads data. Okay, but in order to get the leads data, we need to add the API, right? So that is done by clicking on this add APIs, you can see. Okay, so I'll quickly click on this. Now here you'll have to just give any sorry, not a random name. This has to be like a descriptive name such that when user scrolls down to the list of APIs, he should be able to understand. Okay, so I'll just say HubSpot leads data. Okay, and this API endpoint will be the path. Okay, so in this case, I'll simply say leads data. Okay, I know this is not correct. This is just a dummy thing. Okay, but for demo purpose, I'm simply adding it. Now I'll select what type of HTTP method it wants. Okay, it either needs get, post, or put. Okay, so for now we have just enabled these three methods. and in future we will be adding more. Okay, get. So now this description, this is actually important. Like this description helps the AI agent, okay, like when I should call this API. Okay, so you need to instruct that agent. If something happens like this, then you call this API. Okay, so you'll have to give the description in that manner. So let's say I'll say this function needs to be called when we want to get leads data from HubSpot. Okay. Okay. Now this API, right? This doesn't need any parameter as such. Okay. So once you have connected your account, it has your account information and it can directly go to your account and fetch the leads information. Okay. So this doesn't need any parameter as such. But let's say I want to get a specific lead data. Let's say I want to get the lead data by ID. Okay. So I will place that ID parameter in this placeholder like this. Okay, like I've added. And then again, I will mention this in the function description as well. Like this function needs ID as the parameter. Okay, that's it. Now, after we define the ID in the function description, it is also mandatory that we should add the same parameter over here. Okay, and this is like additional description ID of the lead. Okay, and similarly you can add as many parameters as you want. So you can see we have kept the dynamism here as well. Okay, yeah, so now I'll not add this because this is dummy and I'm sure I know this is not going to work. Okay, I'll just quickly close this. Okay, and I'll show you the APIs. We have already added this Gmail. Okay, Gmail app, you can see. Okay, and I'll show you the APIs which we have added. You can see this view APIs for Gmail. Yeah, you can see we have added these 3 APIs: send Gmail message, get Gmail profile, and create Gmail draft. Okay, so the admin has added Gmail as an app and he has added 3 APIs for this Gmail. If he wants to add more, then he can definitely go here and he can add more. Okay, but yeah, for now he has just added 3 APIs. Okay, now, before we move to the user side of the demo, I wanted to show you one more thing, which is this. Okay, so what happens if I change this authentication type to OAuth? Okay, so you can see we have this. This is pre-filled just because I have already added the data. But when you can just remove this. Okay, and yeah, here also you can remove this. Yeah. So this the last one, the authentication method. I have purposely kept this method as the last one because when the admin selects this method, right, the end users, they don't need to add any information from their side. Okay, they will just have to click on connect button and their app will get connected. Okay, so that is the reason it is the most preferred authentication type. But yeah, at the same time, this app or this service has to support this. Right now, I don't think HubSpot is supporting this, so I'm just removing it. But yeah, before that, I'll explain you these fields. Okay, authorization field and authentication field. So when we say OAuth authentication method, right, it is actually a two-step method wherein you can say more secured and more advanced way of authentication, wherein in the first step in this authorization fields, you give few key names and their values. Okay, let's say dummy value. Okay, now how many key values it needs? Again, that is the admin's headache. He will have to go to the documentation. He will add it. Okay, as a normal user, you don't have to worry about this. Okay, so there can be any numbers. Let's say redirect URI, whatever, and some value. Okay, so he will add this. Then again, there's something called as authentication field. Again, he can click on this and he can add the authentication field values. So most of the time it is just client ID and it is just client secret. Okay, and authorization URL, token URL, base URL, this everything will be provided in headers, sorry, in documentation. Okay, which admin has to worry about. Okay, and these are some headers, optional headers. If you want to give that, that's fine. Otherwise, you can just ignore that. Okay, so this is not correct data, so I'm not going to save this. I'll just cancel this. Yeah, so now as an admin, your job is done. It is just a two simple step. You have to first add the app And then for that added app, you have to add the APIs. That's it. So as an admin, your work is done. Okay. So now I'll log in as a normal user because this is the admin account. I'll show you how the interface looks when you log in as a normal user. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm logged in as a normal user and you can see my options are limited now. Okay. Now I'll go to this account setting and you can see this integrated app section and oh, I just forgot to activate. Okay. I'll quickly activate that. Yeah. So this HubSpot app was added, but it was not activated. You can see this activate section button. Okay. So I'll activate this. Yeah. So now it is activated. I'll just log out and I'll log back as in normal user. So now I'll again go to the integrated app section. Yeah. So now you can see this app is visible in your integrated app section. And you can see we got these two buttons connect. So you remember I have kept this as I think the basic auth. So since I have kept it as a basic auth, when I will click connect, I'll get a form and this details you have to fill and you will find these details in your account. Okay. In your HubSpot account. Okay. So I'm not going to add this. Okay. I'm just skipping this. It's actually very simple. You have to just enter user, like how we give username, password in the login, right? Similarly, you will have to add these details. Okay. So I'll not add this. I'll show you how this thing works, Gmail, because that's the most standard way of accessing the APIs. Okay. So this Gmail is the OAuth type of app. So I'll click on this connect and just notice what happens when I click on connect. See, it is asking me to authorize using my account. Okay. I'm just allowing it and it is telling me this app will have this particular permissions. I'm just allowing it. Yeah. So now you can see my Gmail is connected. Okay. So now my Gmail is connected to this application with my account. Okay. Similarly, let's say someone else is using this account tomorrow, they can connect with their account. Okay. So now since I have connected my Gmail, I'll quickly go to the agent section, my agents, because that is the whole purpose, right? We have connected, but now we want to use the APIs and we want to attach those APIs to our agent. So I'll quickly create this agent. I'll just give any name. Let's say, yeah, I'll say demo agent. I'll keep this default. And for demo purpose, I'll just keep it very simple. You are helpful. Let's say Gmail. Okay. And this description is for us like Gmail agent. I'll select the category. Let's just keep it as general. I don't want any conversation starters. I'll just select any model. And when I enable this function calling, right, you can see, yeah, you can see these three APIs, which was added by the admin. Okay. Now I'll just attach this get Gmail profile. Okay. Let's not, because of the time restriction, I'll simply add this get Gmail profile as the API. Okay. And I'll click on create agent. Yeah. So my agent is created. I'll click on chat with the agent. Okay. Let's just say hi first. Let's be nice to the AI. Yeah. So you see, it is following our instruction. It's saying, how can you assist today with the Gmail? Because I have mentioned like you are a helpful Gmail agent. So let's just check. Can you give me my Gmail profile information? We'll see. We'll see if it gives my profile information. Okay. So as you can see, when I ask this, can you give my Gmail profile information? The agent smartly decides like, okay, the user needs Gmail information and I have the Gmail profile API attached to me and the user's account is already connected. So I can easily call that API. I can get the information and I can display it to the normal user, the prompt of the user. So I have asked my profile information, it has given me. And by looking at this email, I can say this is the correct information. These are some messages, number of this thing, threads and all. Now let's say I have not attached the sending email API. Okay, so let's just ask him, can you send email to my friend? We'll see what it says. Okay, so you can see it said, okay, let it generate its entire response first. Okay, so it says, surely I can guide you. He said he can guide me on how to send an email, but he can't directly send emails on your behalf. Okay, But if I would have attached that API, right? If I would have attached that API, which is this, is that, yeah, send Gmail. Yeah, okay. Now I have attached the API of sending email. And now let's just ask, can you send Gmail message to my friend? We'll see if it works. Yeah. So now since we have attached that Gmail sending API, it says, yeah, I can definitely send an email. To send an email, I'll need these details like the recipient, okay, the email address of the sender, then subject, the body of the email. Okay. And I'm sure if I give these details, it will actually send an email. Okay. So yeah, that's mostly about it, about this dynamic app feature. So the major purpose was to give the real-time data, or you can say the third-party app data to our AI agents so that we can build some amazing automations and we can really solve some real world user problems. Okay, or we can reduce some time in some manual work. Okay, so that is the main purpose of this dynamic app feature. I hope I was able to explain it nicely. But still, if you have any questions or if you have any doubts, then you can definitely go ahead and ask the questions. Yes, Mujamal, you can take over from here.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. So maybe we can see if anyone has actually any questions for us. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yeah, if anyone want to speak, they can raise your hand so that we can give you the access.
I see no one has any questions. Thank you, Shubham, and thank you, Abura, for this amazing webinar. Let us wrap up the call. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.